Hey, this is Gabe,
And this is Damien.
and we're from Aranda, and you're watching the Midwest music scene.
Ooh.
Hi guys, this is David with Midwest Music Scene, and we're here with Gabe and Damon of Aranda.
Yep.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. What's going on? Is that excited for the show tonight?
We are, man.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun show tonight. It's always fun to play in Oklahoma, man. So
Playing home state?
it's hilarious because, 2-3 years ago, we probably oversaturated the market and, people didn't want to see us at all in
played
Oklahoma.
everywhere.
Well, yeah, because we were playing 3 or 4 nights a week in Oklahoma. But now we play literally 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
And so it makes it a lot more special for us, too, to be able to come out and do this.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, we always like seeing you guys here, that's for sure. So, how did getting signed with Wind Up come about? How did...
Man, we were literally we had released our first single independently, "Undone," on from Stop the World, and
You guys weren't signed then? I thought y'all were signed when that
oh
happened.
no,
Oh, wow.
oh no, we were far from signed. We were doing everything ourselves, funding everything ourselves, and kind of just getting that build. And then "Undone" did pretty well in kind of the active rock world or whatever you want to call it. And so then we decided to release another song called "Satisfied," and it was one of those songs where a lot of people were like, don't release it because it's too slow, it's too this, it's too that. But it ended up making a big impact, and it got, pretty high on the charts, and Wind Up kind of saw that. And I think that's what most labels want you to do now, is kind of do most of the legwork yourself.
Yeah.
And then they'll come in on the back end and go, we can help you get to the next level. So that's kind of what happened. And then they kind of took it from there, and it did well. And then we released our next single on Wind Up, which was "One More Lie," and it did great too, and just as well. So we were pretty excited about that. And now they've got us in the studio doing another record.
You guys already tried another one?
We are already in doing another one. Yeah,
Wow.
for a lot of people, when we signed with Wind Up, that's when they think everything kind of started with Stop
Yeah.
the World. But it's not that. It's not the case. We started recording that record in 2010.
Jeez.
So, for us, everything on there is 3 years old.
And at that time, we
Yeah.
had been with an independent label for a while, but we were getting off the label. And so we were going through a lot of turmoil and things
Yeah.
like that with them. And so halfway through that recording process, we kind of took over independently. And then as far as releasing singles and stuff, we had to fund all that stuff ourselves. But it paid off, and
Yeah.
it's one of those. It's a labor of love for us, It's like we don't really know how to do anything else that good. So.
Yeah. Well, you guys do this good, so...
Thank you.
So speaking of Satisfied, how did that song come about? Do you guys write together? Do you each bring in
We
songs?
do, but we also write apart too, and that's probably more of an example of writing apart, because that was one person's experience versus another guy's.
So it was about a specific person.
I was definitely there for the process, but that was one of those songs that just kind of poured out.
Gabe's generally a happier person, so it's like he's usually got it a little more together most of the time, and it shows in a lot of the songs that he writes. He's got a little more together. So
I'm a little more optimistic.
Yeah, I'm a little more
about things,
optimistic.
guys.
I'm a little messed up, but I definitely with that song, man. It literally was just one of those. You have to just get this out, release it. It was written really, in a short period of time. It wasn't one of those where it was like sitting there going, "Oh man, we're gonna, sit over this for 3 months and try to figure it out." No, I just kind of did that, and so we literally we took that in there. We weren't gonna even put it on the record, and Johnny was like, "Oh man, you guys got to do that," so we did it, and
It paid off.
It paid off big. Literally, man, you just never know with any song, really.
Yeah.
If you sit around going, we got to write a hit today, or we got to write a this, you're doomed from the start. So we just go, man, this is stuff that we like to do. And especially now, man, with the record that we're doing now, man, we're just doing what we like. And we just pray that people like it too, and that they can, kind of come along with the journey with us.
At some point, you got to trust that the people that are your fans and stuff, they really are your fans.
You can't pander
and so,
to people.
And so they want to follow. They want to know what you're creating.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear you sound like Nickelback or, I could go down a list of bands, and especially in our genre that we could mimic or whatever, and the record company would probably think it was awesome. You know, like, oh heck yeah,
And people are like,
we know exactly what to do with that.
throw that on
But
radio. Nickelback.
that's not us, and so we're going to do what we do and trust that our fans will support us on it. So far, they've been awesome. We've got what we feel like are some of the best fans, honestly, so it's...
They're hardcore.
They're hardcore,
sure,
yeah.
hardcore fans.
And we've seen girls that have made their own panties, and we've had people tattoo
Aranda panties.
Aranda on their arm. Yeah, like Damien's face is like, ugh. No, I mean, I haven't seen the panties on them. They brought them to the show.
You
guys.
saw them
Come
off
on.
of them? Come on.
No, not me, man. No, but that was like just stuff like that. You're just like, man, I can't believe somebody would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, not just that they're panties, but the fact that somebody would take the time and do that, and then, man, we've had people tattooed our album cover on their
The
forearm.
album cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
I always tell them when I
man.
see people with our tattoos, I'm like, that's crazy. I don't even have my own name tattooed on me,
Like,
So
why
it's-
would you do that?
No, it's awesome, but I just...
Well, yeah, I mean, when people feel so strongly about something,
Yeah.
I mean, especially, like Satisfied, I'm sure that probably helped other people through tough times, that probably same thing you were going through, so, I mean,
Well, we laugh because, whenever people come up to the merch booth, they're just like, man, this girl did this to me, man, and I feel you on that and all that stuff.
That man, I send that to my ex-wife every day. I'm like,
Well, the
that's not
funny
exactly
thing,
what
and then,
it's
but the
written
other thing is, there's a lot of girls that are the sentiments the same way. So,
yeah.
man,
It was fun to watch how that song connected with people
Yeah.
in how many different ways.
It's all therapy, man.
Yeah.
It's all therapy.
It's all therapy. So, Kelly Clarkson, I know you guys have been asked this a lot. Like, what happened, man? How did that come? That's crazy.
That was
Man.
awesome for us.
I want you to do Why You Want to Bring Me Down and
All I ever
All I Ever
wanted.
Wanted, yeah.
Yeah,
Just set it straight. Just set it.
man.
Set it straight.
Well, it was just literally. To set it really straight, it's just lucky, man. I mean,
Yeah.
like, really lucky. I mean, Kelly Clarkson, I don't even, to be honest with you, people are like, think that we're all really good friends and all that stuff, but we literally have talked to her like 2 or 3 times, and she loved those songs. She did them on her record. She didn't know they were on our record until afterwards.
Then how did
So
she
it's
get
not like
hold
she
of
nabbed
those?
them. Man, they were songs that I had messed around with before, and when you're in a publishing deal, they kind of shop
Yeah.
songs, and that's kind of what happened. And she heard the songs, liked the songs, did the songs great. I mean, and one day maybe we'll do them on stage with her, but we haven't spoken with her in years, so it's not like this big thing.
It was
that we're-
amazing to watch
Yeah.
even on the YouTube and stuff like that. Like her fans were arguing with our fans and stuff about like.
And you guys were like, we wrote these songs.
Well,
Man, I don't think we got in any conversation with anybody regarding that stuff because it was like there were so many people going, Kelly Clarkson does them better. Or
Well,
who
the
cares?
thing is-
you know?
Yeah, it's music,
hey,
man. As long as people
literally,
connect with it.
we'll sit with our fans straight. It's like she did us a favor, and there's a blessing to be able to have her do those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, already asked about Satisfied. So, what about Undone? I mean, who wrote it?
Let's
How did it
take
come
that.
about?
I wrote a lot. I mean, probably most of that song in a sense of all the lyrics and things like that. I tend to, like he said, I tend to have, my stuff together. As far as
More
my relationship. I've been in a
uplifting.
relationship, with my wife forever, and so when I draw from things like that, I tend to put myself in other people's shoes, And with Undone, I was putting myself in somebody's shoes that was depressed, somebody that was going through mental illness, and when you start from that place, it's a pretty dark
Yeah.
place to start from. And obviously I couldn't, and I know this person really well, and so I got a feel for kind of what was happening, and I just took it from there, and that was kind of, but the song turned more into like just overcoming these things that are pulling at you, you know, whether it's mental illness, whether it's, for us, like recently with the tornadoes hitting and stuff and more, that song has had a special meaning to me. Singing it, is like, you kind of have two questions, it's like you can either, all the stuff that's happened to you, you can fall with it and get crumbled inside, or you can rise above it and move forward and move past it. And so that was more about that song, what that song was about. So.
That's pretty sweet. So,
And then he did the crazy guitar groove that just made it cooler,
that is sweet. That
So-
intro is just
yeah,
so
I mean,
sweet.
it kinda
That
made
whole
the
riff,
song.
yeah, it makes the song, yeah. So, you guys said that maybe one day you'll do these songs on stage with Kelly Clarkson. Like, who is Give me one guy and one girl that you'd like to have a collaboration with on a future. I've heard you guys say Lizzie Hale before, which
Well, I mean, yeah, that would
We're-
be awesome. And
We're friends with her, so
yeah,
that could feasibly happen, actually. But
that's when that could happen.
yeah.
I would say probably, but there's
I read
people
about
that
Undone. You guys said that you wanted to do
that was my
Undone
initial
as
idea.
a duet with her.
That was my initial idea. That was even before we recorded it.
Really?
And she loved the song, and we kind of wanted to do it, but it just never happened. You know, we got in the studio and did it. But I'd love to in the future, so that would be awesome.
So who's one guy? That
Dave
you would-
Grohl. Dave Grohl.
Dave
you go.
Grohl.
Yep, Dave Grohl.
That's
Dave
easy.
Grohl.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, he'd be
Dave Grohl.
awesome. I just think he's cool. We actually met Taylor Hawkins a couple weeks
Really?
ago, and
At the did you guys
Diamond
open
Deal.
to that show?
we
didn't
opened
you?
that
Yeah,
show, and
yeah.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's unbelievable drummer, but just man, he's just a funny guy, and
So just down to earth. I mean, he just rocks the Beach Boy shorts and
just likes to
takes
take off his shirt off.
and
And, yeah.
barefoot. Let's go. Bleached hair.
He's awesome. He's cool.
Yeah, it was totally. It was so awesome just to be side stage. You know.
Yeah.
We took that show just because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, that's a big show to take. I mean, those are.
We thought so.
Yeah. We got that call and we were like, yes, we're doing that.
So, I mean, you guys have been on the road. I mean, numerous times in your career. I mean, so what is like one story that just stands out to you? That's like, man, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened.
El Paso,
man.
right?
El Paso.
El Paso.
El Paso.
We've got this deal in our set called
Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Boot,
You know,
yeah.
the boot deal.
Yeah.
You know,
The
that
boot, Das Boot.
That
whatever.
started as kind of a joke and has turned into like we can't get out of a show
staple
without doing
thing
it.
that you
Yeah,
have to
which
do,
is
yeah.
we think it's awesome. We love it. So tell them about this lady that came.
Oh man, we're playing in this little club. It looks like an old, broken down
Captain
Captain
D's.
D's. Like just this crazy thing. It's like pass the vinegar. Let's get some fish going. But anyway, there's no security, man. Like there's no security at this show. Like none. Like
I mean,
none.
people were right here. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But it's a little scary too.
Yeah.
It was cool, and
They get crazy down there.
we had not really had a ton of success there at all. It was kind of one of those shows where I think it was halfway. We were still kind of a faceless band, and so we go in there, we do our deal, and at the end. We're just messing around with this boot, and this is kind of how it all came about. So we have it there, we're going to play with our boot and all this stuff. So we do it, but we really don't know how to dispose of the boot yet because we haven't
I
really.
think didn't it start with like a beer bottle? I think somebody threw a beer bottle
Yeah.
up or something. And
It was
he's
beer
gonna
bottle.
slide, kind of that thing.
We're thinking of like, any kind of inanimate object that you can play with the guitar. We're going to put it on there. But anyway, so we get this, we go up there, and finally comes to the boot. Let's say 15 minutes later, whatever we're doing. 15 minutes later, come to the boot. So we do the boot solo, and it's fun. It sounds awful, but it was cool, and it was fun. We throw it, and a girl comes up. Well, first, this one guy comes up and gets me in the headlock, and I'm just sitting there.
Up on stage,
and-
that's right.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, is this like just customary kind of? Because we're on the border. I don't know really all the customs.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, oh god, oh god. And so, we do that. And he's like, I love you, and I'm like, oh.
This is a true story,
I
people.
promise. This is, and it's not even exaggeration. So he's
We
doing
got
that.
him off of him.
So but as I'm doing that, my boot's over there, and this girl comes up on the stage, no security, takes my boot, runs
Just
out,
leaves.
just leaves, runs out of the place, going, and come, and this is a true story. And then I had one boot left. I mean, I'm not a rich man. I need my boot because I got to put it back on so I can have shoes.
so I can walk.
Yeah, I have like 3 pairs of shoes and some boots, and that's about as good as it gets. So, anyway, she left with my boots, and I was shoeless literally for another day until I could go back to the shoe store and get a boot. So
It was just one
it
boot.
was pretty crazy, man.
That's
And
insane.
it's tough to find a store that'll sell you just one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the crazy. I think
Well, I just gave away the other one that
I know.
night. I was just,
out of all those stories I've heard so far, that's got to be the craziest. I mean,
That was just a crazy night.
That's
We love
insane,
El Paso, by the way.
El Paso's like one of our favorite
That-
places.
One of the favorite
I
places
can
to
see
go.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Hardcore
steal boots
people.
Still boots and they rock,
and
man.
real
I mean,
cuddly. They put you in headlocks.
no, but I would say it's definitely top 3, top 4
Yeah.
cities, and it's just you go there and you just know it's gonna be on.
Something's
so.
gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
So, So if you could put together like your perfect package tour with you guys on it, who would you pick? Like from headliner.
Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl.
Foo Fighters.
There's a common
Foo
thread
Fighters
happening
and
here.
Coldplay. I'm just kidding. that's totally a joke, guys.
Dude, like Lenny Kravitz, I think would be awesome.
I think so. Like old Lenny Kravitz. Like
Well, yeah. I mean,
circa
he is-
99.
He's old right now.
No, like old Lenny
Oh,
Kravitz.
his old stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you meant like young Lenny Kravitz versus old Lenny Kravitz.
Well, he's put out like 10 albums.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we
anyway,
have-
so that'd be awesome. Lenny Kravitz would be awesome.
Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters, Lenny Kravitz,
Foo
and
Fighters
Aranda
is
so far.
headlining.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters
Foo Fighters headlining over Lenny Kravitz. I mean, that's
They're direct support. We're headlining.
I love this. I love where we're going here. We're doing it.
Gotta think big. Gotta think big. Gotta dream.
Thanks, Foo Fighters, for opening up for us. Taylor, you want to play on a few songs?
we might let you later. Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, that'd be fun. I mean, there's so many different bands. Even some of the bands we play with now, so good, man. Like, Shinedown's great. Hailstorm's just, I mean,
Ridiculous.
well, they're just ridiculous live.
Yeah.
They're such great performers. Lizzie sounds ridiculous at all times. Like, she never has a bad night, or at least
We hate her.
or at least the 50 times that we've seen them, they never have a bad night. RJ is always on, such an entertainer that, I mean, we would play with them anytime. So, I mean, there's a lot of dead artists that I would love to like open up for, like, but
It's not going to happen.
it's not gonna happen. So,
So now we got your perfect tour. Like, what is one song in history that you wish you would have wrote?
Oh, man. Just Damon, I know how he thinks. He thinks numbers, like which one grossed the most amount of money.
oh no,
Hit me, baby, one more time.
What NSYNC song was that?
Yeah, exactly.
Pure Imagination, Willy Wonka. I don't know.
There you go.
No, Kashmir, Led Zeppelin. If I would have wrote that, it didn't gross the most, but it's one of the coolest songs of all time. So I would definitely be proud
Superstition.
of that one. Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Superstition?
Is it Superstitious?
Oh, you just went completely left field over here.
Is it super?
I think it's Superstitious.
It's superstitious. Yeah. Is it? I don't know now anymore.
superstition.
I'm confused. I think it's superstition.
Very superstition.
No, he says superstitious in the song, but the title I think is superstition. Google it, guys.
Google it.
Google it. Prove me right or wrong.
Google it, fans.
I want to edit that.
So,
I'm gonna Google it right now.
file sharing.
I've got it.
The legal pirating, does it help or does it hurt mostly?
I mean, I think it helps and hurts. I mean, we're told now that, figures now, if you sell 50, 75,000 downloads, that, back 10 years ago, that would have been 400,000 or 500,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does take a lot of money out of your pockets,
Boom. Read them and weep. Read them and weep. Superstition.
Superstition. He's right.
Feels good.
Well, since
Victory
that's your
never
favorite
tasted so
artist of
sweet.
all time.
Said victory never tasted so sweet. Yeah.
All right. Pirating.
Yes. What do you think? I mean, does it help or does it hurt mostly?
I don't know if it anymore. I don't know if it matters what we think anymore. Quite honestly, because it's gonna happen, and it's happening, and it's gonna keep happening.
But it hurts. It does.
Technically, I guess, yeah, it hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I mean, when people download or you see that guy on the street corner, selling those little discs where they go into the movie theaters and they, it's all shaky and all that stuff. We've all seen those before. I mean, when you're talking about a movie that makes $250 million and you're taking a couple $1 million out, I guess nobody feels
cares,
it. But if you're talking about a band that's making $30,000 or $40,000 and you take 20 of that away, that's a significant amount of money, Yeah. So I guess it depends, on what level you're at, and unfortunately, we're not at the level where that's helping us.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps us in getting the word out and people being able to download our stuff. But I mean,
I think it's probably the number one factor of why the music business is changing and everybody's struggling trying to figure out, well, we're not going to get our money anymore from from the music.
Yeah.
It's got to be, you got to find other revenue streams now, and so even the big wigs at the big record companies are trying to do the same thing. They're trying to figure that out, and I think at in the future it will get figured out. I mean, they're going to figure out a way to try to make it fair for artists and things like that. But right now, everything is, I think, in such a transition technologically and things. Especially these last 10 years.
We're definitely not upset about it. I mean, we're not like, oh man, that just it's just
You just don't have time.
That's not something that you can do.
It is what it is, and we just.
Literally, people will come up to us and go, "Man, grab a torrent of your album," and I'm like, "Oh man, so
and there's
just didn't pay for it at all." Huh? And they're happy. I mean, they're like, but people do it so much that they don't even think about it like they're stealing from you. They're just like, man, we're supporting. And I'm like, oh, you kind of are. You're listening to our music, but you're kind of not because I just lost money there.
Yeah.
So
it's all good though.
But you think about it for about a second and you just move on.
Well, because you got like that, and then plus nowadays there's people like who will have shirts made and sell them outside of your shows.
See, I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the thing is,
man, they do that at those big festivals and stuff.
The problem about us in general is we're not very good businessmen, and we never have been. So it's, I think if we were a little more savvy with some of the stuff that we do, we'd probably care a little bit more. But we're so just kind of like, man, let's figure this out, and did we make enough money to pay our rent? That kind of deal. And then everything else on top of that's gravy. Let's write good songs, and anything on top of that's gravy. So,
speaking of good songs, can you describe one song that you're writing right now for us? Maybe your favorite one that you've written so far. Like what?
Well, we just got out of a session this last week with a song that'll probably end up making the record. It's called "We Are the Enemy," and it's just so fun to do because it's a little bit further, on the rock heavier side than what we're used to doing, and so you can kind of get out of yourself a little bit and get into that character. We were a little meaner, a little tougher, Is that tougher? Is that what you say? Tougher.
Yeah. Clench your fist though when you do it.
But it'll probably be one of maybe two songs that are like that on the record because we kind of were in that transition period. We do not want to make another Stop the World. We don't want to do that. We definitely don't want to make another Aranda. Both of those albums are so extreme sound-wise. It's like, we literally lost and gained fans when we put out Stop the World, So we know, our fans that hopefully will stick with us, but I think we're just going to be that kind of band that's not going to make the same record all the time. Yeah. And hopefully people can appreciate that. We'll see, But that's a song called "We Are the Enemy," and it was a lot of fun to do because we just got to cut up and be angry and tough. So it was awesome.
That's pretty cool. So, what's your favorite tour you've been on so far? I mean, you guys have played with so many big names. I mean,
I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, I mean, the favorite tour overall was
Three
Doors
Down.
Yeah,
Three Doors Down.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
The magnitude of it for us. We had never been on a tour that big,
For that long.
Yeah, we've done a lot of shows where there's thousands and thousands of people, but we had never been on a run like that where it was just like every night we were playing in arenas.
Catering every night. Catering.
Our own dressing room.
Yeah.
For us, it's the little stuff, like that makes all the difference,
Taking all the brown M&Ms out of the M&Ms, that's awesome too.
Have the craziest rider possible.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure you guys have seen the Foo Fighters rider thing online. It's so sweet. They made it like a coloring book and all kinds of stuff.
Are you serious?
You can find it online. There's a PDF of it. There's like 50 pages, and they put all the
a lot of that
stuff
too
in there.
is that they, it's a joke.
That whole thing was a joke.
Love,
They had the most awesome stuff in there. I mean, the craziest requests, and it's like they can do it too.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
So, what would be something crazy that you'd have on your rider?
Something crazy on the rider.
I know this guy has a good answer. He's over here laughing.
No, I really don't. I laugh at our rider because if you look over there, that's what we have on our rider right now.
You should pan over there.
A bag of Doritos.
Doritos and a cooler.
And a six-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper and a six-pack of Red Bull. Even the lady today, she was like, well, your rider was so small, I just added a couple things to it just so you guys could have it. So
we're pretty easy, I mean,
But we need to get some more stuff. I mean, we've had that one for like 5 years, and so at some point we'd like to get some, I don't know, cheeseburger or something.
A cheeseburger. So, I mean, that's all I have for you guys. I mean, you guys want to say anything? I mean, have anything that you guys want people to know?
Just go ahead.
just that we've got a new album coming out. We're in the studio writing. We're excited about the new stuff that's coming, and we can't wait to share it with you guys. And we appreciate your support so far, and hopefully you guys will continue to support us, and we'll keep putting out music for you guys.